Now let's move into this section of understanding where does India stand in the AI landscape. So where do you see India in the global AI landscape?
I think India is nowhere at this point of time in the
Okay.
AI landscape, right? Even so, if you ask me, China is leading the race at this point of
With
time.
DeepSeek coming in. Right?
DeepSeek is just one example, right? That is
Okay.
tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
Along with DeepSeek, DeepSeek is when people came to know.
Yeah.
But what is the underlying thing? China has been investing in AI for last 7 to 8 years. And
Okay.
if we see one benchmark, which is number of patents filed internationally, right?
Okay.
China is probably 10x of
In the
US.
Wow.
Right. So the number, I don't remember the exact numbers, but China, I think, has last year it has filed around 6,000 patents on AI. US is probably around 500. India is around 10 or 20.
Okay.
So that's the kind of chasm, right? Now, so China, all the major companies, like if you take Tencent, if you take Baidu, or if you take Alibaba, they have invested heavily in AI, right? And unlike the last version of China, this time they are open sourcing it.
Okay.
They are making it open, right? Whereas in US, everything is closed sourced, apart from what Meta is doing, Zuckerberg is doing, right? So China, all these models are open source, and they are trying to create that trust among the global, community, right? Because that is something which China was lacking.
Like Google did with Android and so on and so forth.
Absolutely, absolutely. So China is way ahead when it comes to AI. US is there. US has a lot of money also, and it's a superpower, right? Talent and also a trust in the global community that whatever US does is good and whatever China does is bad. That's the narrative that is there, right?
Which are the other countries which are there in this game?
Apart from these two countries, Israel is of course there, right? Then France and UK, they are I think way ahead than us at this point of time. India, as you see, in terms of foundational model, there are a couple of foundational models that are there. Sarvam is one, right? They are trying to build a voice-based model. Apart from that, we don't see any model from India which can compete with these players.
So Pratap, why did Nandan Nilekani stress on asking Indian startups to focus more on AI applications rather than building any LLMs?
Yeah, I think that's a mindset problem, right? Nandan Nilekani comes from Infosys. We all know that, right? And Infosys was built on services, right? They had this advantage where India had cheap manpower or cheap labor, and they were able to outsource that to US. That is where I think that is one perspective from where he is coming in, right? I think no disrespect to him, he has done wonderful job with Infosys, but I think he came from an earlier era, and he's trying to say that India is not yet ready for innovation.
Okay.
India doesn't have the talent or the capital to do innovation. Probably he's coming from that side.
Okay.
And I remember one interview, it was a question which was asked by Rajan Anandan from PKXB to Sam Altman, that is there a chance that India can build LLM? I think that was 1.5 years back. And Sam Altman outrightly said that this is hopeless. You cannot build it. Okay. Of course, he would protect OpenAI, right? He doesn't want competitors, right? That is what he said, and everybody believed that, hey, we cannot build. Right? But China did it. DeepSeek did it with much less resources. And after that, the eyes of Indians opened that, hey, they can do it with so less investment, we can also do it. But I think still we are late, but we are not that late. This large language models or AI models are still evolving. We are probably at stage 1. We have to go to stage 10, right? So there is a lot of scope for Indians to build Indian models. And I think, see, each LLM or has their own ideology, because they are trained on a particular data set. The people who trained these models have put their biases into it, right? If you look India as a country, right, traditionally for so many years, India had given a lot of philosophy to the world through probably our scriptures, older scriptures, right? And when colonization happened, we were bound to believe that we are not good. We are intelligently not good. Right? It happened for 200 to 50 years, and that mindset is still there.
Absolutely.
Probably the next generation that would come, they won't have that mindset. And this is happening, right? If you look at Gen Zs today, they don't believe in Western ideologies. They say we have certain ideologies, which is probably good enough, right? Why not build those ideologies into LLMs? That is one thing that is going to come. Second thing is, India is, I think, the most diverse country in the world. We speak so many languages, man, right? It's not just English. Absolutely. It's not just Hindi, right? In Hindi also, there are so many dialects.
Absolutely.
And traditionally, as a country, we had something called Smriti, right? It was not written, it was heard. That is the knowledge that I think you and I grew up with through stories, right?
Sure.
And that knowledge, it's still not there in LLMs, right? If you look at spirituality, or if you look at, let's say, Hindu scriptures, there is so much knowledge out there, right? That even Western scientists, they say that this knowledge is supreme.
Absolutely.
We don't believe it at this point of time, but sometimes it is going to change. And I
We've
think
been used to listening to Westerners. They have to give us a certification, only then we
correct. And that is the mindset change that I'm talking about, right? If that mindset change happens, we have so much knowledge.
Are there already startups who are working on the LLM space within India? A lot of them?
Yeah. Recently, government started an initiative under India AI Mission, and they invited people to, build Indic LLMs. And I think two, three of them got selected. One was Sarbham AI by Piyush. I met him, 2-3 months back in Delhi. Nice person. So they are trying to build they got selected by Government of India. I think government is funding them around 200 crores. But that is small,
in the
whole scheme of things, because you need infrastructure. You need GPUs, particularly, right? And NVIDIA is the undisputed market leader there. And that is an infrastructure which US controls. US doesn't want GPU to come to India. So they have certain limit that they have set.
They ration it right now.
How much it can come to India. And that is one critical piece, I think, which India should address, right? India should have its own compute infrastructure. Why not? We are a country, we are one of the largest country in the world. We should have our own infrastructure. We should not be dependent on US for that. And you know what is happening with the political situation, right? We know what happened, right, recently. So we cannot simply trust anybody, be it US or Russia or anybody, right? So I think it is high time that Indian entrepreneurs should focus on building India-centric LLMs, not only for India, but for the world. And I think still what is happening in Indian ecosystem is there is a lot of brain drain that is happening currently, right? Because of whatsoever reasons, people from here are going to Silicon Valley and building AI startups, successful ones. Perplexity is one such example, right? Why it is not happening in India? That's the question, right? Today I was reading a report about global startup ecosystem report from an organization called Startup Blink. And unfortunately, we have slided 3 places. We are now 22nd in the world. Right? Last year we were 19. This year we are 22. What is happening, right? Somebody has to do that. Particularly Indian entrepreneurs, I think. See, one stark difference that I see, if you go to US-based media houses who cover startups, you will see AI everywhere. If you go to Indian-centric startup, you don't see AI anywhere, not even in their forms. Right? When you apply that I belong to this particular sector, there is no AI. There is food tech, there is direct to consumer, there is Swiggy kind of companies. I think Piyush Goyal said it very, very effectively during the Startup Mahakumbh that we need to go beyond
the gig workers.
Absolutely.
Pratap, we were also discussing about the content creation bit, before our podcast when we were talking personally. It has come there. We have come to a stage where a content creator need not be present, and you were talking about the avatars and so on and so forth. Where do you see this going in terms of originality?
Yeah. So I think what is original, Kishore, right? When you see a Shah Rukh Khan movie, when Shah Rukh Khan is proposing somebody, is it original? No. It's all artificial, isn't it? He's acting. And because of his acting skill, he's earning so much. Right? Now, can you afford Shahrukh Khan? If you want to feature him in your podcast or you want to create a story, you can't afford him. Right? And if you really have an idea to produce something, in order to produce a good video, there is so much equipment that is required.
True.
And people cannot afford it. Right? Now AI is solving that particular thing. Anybody with an idea can produce his or her thought into a character, into a face, can give it a voice and produce content out of it. It's storytelling.
Absolutely.
Right? All this content that we consume is all artificial. Nothing is natural, apart from the natural things that probably news channels used to cover. Now that is also artificial, but all content is artificial.
I recently read where an entire movie of an hour plus or so was made with the help of AI within a budget of 10 lakh rupees.
Yes.
It's evolving. Maybe they were also mentioning that since it's the first movie, maybe the quality or the final output was not as good enough. But I think it's a fresh start.
Absolutely. In fact, in Kannada, one of the Kannada movies is coming up. It's a full feature film that they have announced.
Yeah, with AI. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I think